Some of the most popular raid weapons historically include weapons that do DOT, like Anarchy, Osteo Striga, and Witherhoard. In this video, I'm going to do some quick testing with the two most popular DOT weapons right now, Osteo and Witherhoard, and also make a PSA about how they interact to make sure going into the world's first race this Friday and any raids you guys do that you are informed and knowledgeable. Starting off with Osteo Striga, we will shoot the boss until we see the green pulse, and then we're going to just let it tick. While we wait for that, I want to say the optimal way to use Osteo is to let it proc the poison once, as the damage increases over time. And so that's stopped, and we're going to wipe and check the damage. So Osteo Striga getting the damage of the first few bullets and then just the poison, we get about 140k, 137,000 damage. Moving on to what everybody uses, Witherhoard. We're pretty much going to do the same thing. We're going to shoot the boss, let it tick once, and then we'll check the damage. So while we wait for Witherhoard to tick, all these tests were done inside of a Well of Radiance with no other debuffs on the boss, so we can actually get more of a raid setting and also make sure the tests run smoothly. And Witherhoard actually does less damage at about 110k. The warning that I want to put out, and the PSA, is that using two of the same weapon that does tick damage is actually a total waste of damage. As you'll see here, I'll have my friend shoot first, then I'll shoot. We get the impact damage, which is a crit by the way. Then we're going to go until his stops ticking. You can actually kind of see it on the ogre, the white. It stops. We're going to wipe. And as you'll see from the damage report, I only got the impact damage, and it was only my friend that actually got the Witherhoard damage. Moving on to Osteo Striga, it works the same way. My friend is going to shoot until the pulse happens. You see it. And then I'm going to shoot until the pulse happens. You see it right there. And once again, I'm not getting any damage numbers. We're going until the poison stops. And we're going to wipe. And of course, you will see again that actually doubling up on the same type of DOT means you don't get the damage. Now, the important takeaway is what actually happens if you use one Osteo and one Witherhoard. So that's what we're going to do here. Again, one Witherhoard shot and one Osteo poison proc. So, as you're seeing on screen, I am getting damage numbers like normal, but the real question that we need to find the answer to is if my friend's Witherhoard is actually getting damage. And the answer is actually yes. So, two different types of DOT is perfectly fine. Now, as for what to do with this information, a lot of us are going to be going into the Day 1 raid tomorrow, as recording this video. And when using these weapons inside of a boss encounter, make sure you're relaying that to your team. Because if there are any, let's say, Starfire Protocol demo bump in the night warlocks doing damage on your team, if you're using Witherhoard and they're using Witherhoard and you shoot yours first, they don't get theirs procced, then their DPS build is going to flop. They're not going to get the ticks that give them their fusion nades back. And similar with Osteo Striga. If they're using Osteo as their DOT, which genuinely isn't a bad idea for reasons I'll get to in a second, their build will once again flop. So when you're going into a raid with the team, make sure you guys are aware of what weapons everybody's using because you don't want any friction. Now, as for the last little tidbit that I'd like to talk about is Osteo is actually a pretty damn good alternative to Witherhoard. The main reason I say this is for high level content. When you're going through multiple damage phases and you're dealing with really high health red bars, Osteo is going to be doing 40% more damage than a normal primary to the red bars, as well as generating heavy more often since it is a primary exotic. And the damage is actually higher than Witherhoard for the DOT, so assuming you're really good with swapping rockets and Osteo, you should actually be hitting higher numbers. And you should see this on screen, but I actually kind of messed it up with having to reload. Pro tip, overload the Osteo mag before starting DPS. So that's what I've got for today's video. Got this tip, this warning, PSA, whatever you want to call it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in watching me attempt the day 1 raid tomorrow at the point of this video, I will be streaming it live here on YouTube. We are starting a couple hours late. I'm not going to be there on reset, unfortunately, but feel free to stop in and say hi. I'd love to see you there. So yeah, that's it. Are you guys going to be attempting the day 1 raid tomorrow? Let me know down in the comments. And as I've started doing, if you'd like to support this video and this channel and you can't think of a comment either Osteo or Witherhoard to let me know which one you guys think is better. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you around.